Hey guys, Matt Wicker with Chatley Marine, and today we're going to take a look at a 2025 Stingray 201 DC. Who's not familiar with the brand, they are built in Hartsville, South Carolina. Their motto is quality and legendary performance that has been unsurpassed since 1979. So they've been building boats since 1979, and we are proud to be partnered with them and be their largest dealer year after year. Before we start the walkthrough, I want to talk about what is a deck boat, because a lot of customers just hear that and don't really know what it is. A deck boat is kind of the SUV of the boating world. If you want the room and the comfort of a pontoon, the storage of a pontoon, but you want the performance of a ski boat, a deck boat has that with that fiberglass bottom. It also, for a customer who wants to fish, tube, ski, kind of do everything, saltwater, freshwater, deck boat again, it's at home everywhere. You'll notice a deck boat is the same width from the back all the way to the front. That's why in the bow of this boat, you can see you could easily put a person on the port side, person on the starboard side, and there'd be room up front for a kid to walk through. So if you're sitting in a boat, definitely take a chance, sit down in it, and you'll notice the comfort there. It's also very quick to plane. So, with a ski boat, when you give it throttle, the front end of the boat go way up in the air, and it'll take a second for it to plane out, and then that front end will go down. Well, with a deck boat, you don't have a whole lot of bow rise, because the wide bow area here quickly planes out. So very, very little bow rise, very shallow draft with a deck boat. You don't have to have 3 or 4 foot of water to float it. This one's 14 inches, and you don't require a huge engine. This boat will run 40 mile an hour with a 115. Again, I'm going to recommend going a little larger, the 140 or 150 for families, but you'll see in the performance bulletin at the end of this walkthrough, 115 push the boat 40 mile an hour. So if this sounds like your family, something you'd be interested in, keep watching. Quickly going over the specs, the boat has a length overall of 20 foot 1 inch, a really, really wide 100-inch beam, fuel capacity of 40 gallons, 11-gallon live capacity, has a dry weight of 2,900 pounds, and that's with a 150 horsepower Suzuki engine. Shallow draft of 14.5 inches, so if you're going to be doing some backwater fishing, island hopping, sandbar hopping with your family, no problem there. And a max horsepower rating of 200 horsepower. However, the 150 shown here is the recommended engine. One last thing before climbing in the boat, I want to talk about the construction. All Stingray boats are NMMA certified for safety, and Stingray was also one of the founding members of the ABA, which is the American Boat Builders Association, and they're joined in this group by other members like Nautique, Grady White, Chaparral, Mastercraft, Formula. And this group puts their expertise and knowledge together to find the top quality components to use when building their boats. Next thing I want to talk about in construction is the Z-planing hull. I'll get a shot of that here. The Z-planing hull is 30% more efficient than competitive manufacturers. You can see those Z-planes, and they act as horizontal planing faces when it's submerged. But as the boat moves, that water kind of pushes the hull up, and you get less aerated water to the prop. So smoother water to the prop's going to increase performance. It's going to make turning better. It's not going to blow out at high speeds. Back when they first came out with this, Al Fink, one of the owners of the company, I had a challenge that nobody could build a 19-foot boat that would perform better than his. And if I remember correctly, he put a pretty high dollar amount on this challenge, and he actually built a 19-foot boat that would run 60 mile an hour with a 4.3. So they're still putting this whole design in process today. I also want to point out that Stingray manufactures all of their own upholstery, floor coverings, seats, things like that, in-house. So they sew everything there, and they do a really good job, and you're proud of what they do. This is a huge benefit for us and the consumer, because if you do need something, let's say a cushion flies out, or you need a new bimini top or a new piece of floor covering, everything's made there. So you can get it fairly quickly, very inexpensive if you need to replace something. And also, you're not relying on a third party. A lot of manufacturers, they don't do anything with the upholstery, so they're relying on companies like Lippert and some of these other big companies to replace cushions, and that can lead to headaches. Climbing in the boat, we'll start at the bow. First thing you'll notice is just how large this bow area is. Plenty of room for 5 adults to spend some time up there. There is an optional table mount there, so if you get the table, you can move it from back to front. All these cushions on the port and starboard side are standard. You can see the bolsters here. They do a really good job with their stitching. Recessed grab rail, so if you are in some rough water, you got something to hang on to. Storage galore. This cushion lifts forward. And it's kind of dark in here, but I don't know if you can see, it's a massive storage area in there, so plenty of room to put your gear. Cup holders perfectly placed on either side of the chases, as well as these are phone pockets. If you've got your cell phone, you can slide it in there and it won't be sliding all around. And of course, same thing on the starboard side here. Moving more towards the front, you do have two speakers that are placed facing the stern of the boat, so it's going to really sound good. You don't have to blare the stereo to hear it. And we do order our boats with the fishing package. So there's that fishing chair, stainless steel bases. Just look at the attention to detail. Everything's polished stainless, not galvanized base plates. They're using Fusion stereo speakers. Just do a great job. Moving more towards the front, you do have a bow boarding ladder, and this is a nice feature. I'll try to open this thing up for you. A bow boarding ladder, so if you're going to pull up on that sandbar and jump out and look for shells or cook out or whatever, you do have a ladder that falls off the front so you can get back in without having to get in the water. And there's also storage in there for an anchor, so they kind of utilize every possible storage there. Room up front here, if you're going to be doing some fishing with this fishing seat, I'll climb up here, but plenty of room to work up here. They do a great job with their seat. It has like an S pedestal, so it actually positions you farther in the back of the boat. So if you're going to be fishing, gives you more room up here. And just looking back again, I want to point out just how much room is in this bow. Plenty of room. This boat's rated for 10 passengers, and you can easily put 10 in here. We do order our boats with the optional bow filler cushion. This is a really, really nice feature if you're going to be doing some island hopping. You can see here it pretty much makes a big bed area. So if you want to stretch out, suntan, relax up on the bow of the boat when you're pulled up on a sandbar, that's a really, really nice feature. And it's easily removed. So if you don't want to use it, just take it out and put it on one of the compartments or in the floor and save it for next time. Next, I want to remove these cushions just to show you how much storage you have. Again, storage, gracious storage under both seats. And then I'll point out the storage behind the cushion that folds forward as well. So again, you got plenty of storage here. In the front here, this is an insulated cooler. So if you can store your drinks and everything's easily accessible. It's got a drain, so they do a good job there. It's lipped. And all stainless steel latches, hinges, snaps. Again, attention to detail. Moving back towards the cockpit, it is standard with a removable igloo cooler. Great place to store your drinks, carry them out to the sandbar, and then under the driver console, again, just a massive storage area. Hey, this is so dark you might not be able to see it, but if you see those white clips there, that's where the table will store. Another option that I do recommend is the cover, the factory cover. With the dual console, if you add the cover, it's a two-piece cover, it's a bow and cockpit cover, so you can shut this windshield here and put that bow cover on. And if you're standing back in the cockpit area using the boat on chillier days, colder weather, blocks all that wind off of it, so to really extend your season. Moving back to the cockpit area, you'll see how spacious of a cockpit area you have. Again, plenty of room for 5 or 6 adults back here to hang out with the table. And again, the table moves to the front. 2 captain's chairs with bolsters, and then there's room 1, 2, 3, 4 easily sit on that back bench. So 6 people to hang out here if you're playing cards, entertaining, whatever. But we're going to focus now on our captain's area. You will notice that they have dual bolster captain's chairs. So both of these seats are going to have the bolster design. If you're not familiar with a bolster is, that's what this cushion is right here. It lays down and flips up, and when you flip it up, it gives you a taller vantage point. So if you're sitting there docking, pulling tube or ski, anything where you're going slow or the bow might be elevated, it puts you up higher so you can see over the windshield or a bigger passenger in the front, either one. So that's a great feature. And also pay attention to the attention to detail they do, their quality. Again, all the Stingray emblems are stitched in. You'll notice the several different types of upholstery, which really looks nice. That chair kind of hugs your body, so they do a really good job. You'll also see 2 stainless steel cup holders recessed right there by the captain's leg. USB MP3, 12-volt chargers there. Tilt steering is standard when you do the C-Star hydraulic. Nice Fusion stereo system here. They do utilize digital switching, so they'll have a touchscreen. I don't know if you can see it in the glare, but they've got a touchscreen display here where you can control the boat, your nav lights, power things off and on, running lights, stereo, things like that. But you also have the traditional buttons here if you prefer that. But again, stainless steel cup holders throughout the boat. Looking at the co-captain's chair, same thing, same seat, bolster seat. You do have stainless steel grab rails, glove box here that's carpeted in there so to protect your items in there. Stainless steel cup holders, that Korean style countertop. Another little tray here where things won't be sliding around. But they do a great job. Again, combing pads throughout the boat. So we'll move towards the stern now. Continuing to move to the stern, you will see you have 2 additional Fusion speakers at the stern of the boat. Plenty of cup holders. You got 2 there. Up on that back deck behind the passengers, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an additional one here. So plenty of storage spaces for drinks and cocktails, water, whatever. It is standard with a sink and faucet, freshwater sink, so you can, if you're entertaining, you need that there. Cushions are very comfortable. Grab rails perfectly placed. You'll see the combing pads, and it's a very deep boat. But you've got a cushion here, full bench seat cushion across the back, and then also want to point out that walk through. It's a great feature. I don't know why everybody doesn't do this, but when you're climbing in out of the boat, the last thing you want is kids stepping on your cushions constantly. And when you're climbing in the boat, you can see that walk through there. So that's a great design by Stingray. And I'll step back so you can see this table. Again, if you're entertaining, the table can be moved from the bow to the cockpit or vice versa. But with the cushions removed, I want you to see just how much storage you have. So under the port side storage area, completely wide open storage area, partitioned off. Under the center here, again, this is the optional live well. It's 11 gallon. They do a great job. Nice touch with a see-through lid. It is aerated and drains overboard with a cool blue lining. If you're not fishing, this is a great place to put drains too. You just use it as a cooler or trash can, something like that. And then storage under the starboard side as well. And while I got this storage up, pay attention to the fit and finish. Everything that runs through the hull, if I can get my camera there, is double clamped. So they do a great job with their build quality, fit and finish. And then also you'll see just above that, again, we pointed out the cup holders, but rod holders with a fishing package. So you'll have 4 stainless steel trolling rod holders. You've got a stainless steel bimini top, so full stainless hardware, so you're not gonna get that rattle, clanging and things like that. And it does have the yacht hardware with the ball and socket, which is really nice. Makes it easy to put in and take out. And before going any further, I want to point out the floor covering. We do choose to get ours with the optional floor covering. This is a seagrass floor covering, so it's a vinyl, kind of a woven vinyl. It's not a carpet, so you don't have to worry about mold and mildew and this thing getting real nasty. Easy to spray out if somebody's eating, spill something on it, you can rinse right out. And that runs throughout the boat. It's custom made to contour all the seats, and you can see as you move into the front. In the floor, you do have a integrated ski locker. So if you're going to be doing some skiing or just want additional storage, that lifts up, and it's a massive storage area. That's the cover in the bag there, but you can just see, you can probably put fishing rods in here, skis, tubes, anything that you need to store and don't mind getting a little bit wet if it should happen to. There are cockpit lights throughout the boat too. One in the cockpit area here, one at the walk-through in the front right there, and then also there's an LED light back here in the back, so right there. I also want to point out this boat is self-bailing. If you're not familiar with what self-bailing means, it means basically if you leave the boat tied up at the dock and it comes up a huge rainstorm, any water that hits the deck bails out the side of the boat, doesn't go down to the bilge, and that's what these self-bailing holes are here. And you'll notice there's 2 in the back of the boat. Just behind the rear seats is the huge back deck, and I love this area of the boat. There's plenty of room to walk around if you're fishing, if you're putting on skis or wakeboard, plenty of room to move back here. If you're picking up your mom or dad or grandmother, whoever from the dock, it gives you a very, very stable platform to step on and off the dock. And then storage, there's additional storage. Each one of these opens up for some wet storage. So if you want to put your dock lines, ski ropes, anything in there, plenty of storage, and that's the same on both sides. And then my mechanics love this point because you can lift this thing out, and when you're working on the boat, you have a massive amount of room to get in there and work, and that's where your batteries would go for your trolling motor and things like that. They do a really good job with the room on the back of this boat. And again, same thing here on the starboard side. We do choose to option ours with C-Star hydraulic steering. We typically put 150s on this boat. The C-Star steering just makes your life a lot easier turning, moving around. And the fit and finish detail, again, you'll see that everything is encased, all the cables. It looks real nice and neat through the boat. It's not just hanging out. A lot of manufacturers just let their, I'll pick on one, I can see it right beside me, let the cables kind of dangle out like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just looks a whole lot cleaner when you encapsulate all those cables. Stepping out of the boat to take a look at the engine. This one is powered by the 150 horsepower Suzuki 4-stroke. This does a phenomenal job on this boat. I'll put a performance bulletin up, and it's actually, if you've got a Stingray brochure, the very last page of the brochure has all the performance bulletins on it, so I'll try to post that up. But the 150 does a great job. We sell it with a 115 for a family of 2 or 3 just wants to do some cool tooling around the lake. But if you've got kids want to do some water sports, 150 is perfect on here. And it does come with a stainless steel prop. I also want to point out the ladder. Notice how deep this ladder goes, way underneath the boat. So it's a 4-step boarding ladder, and they integrate a handle right here so you can pull yourself up. But great option here. If you're older, bigger like me, you can kind of get in the boat very easily. So that's a great feature. One last look at the 2025 Stingray 201 DC. If you're in the market for a new boat, before you make any buying decision, please give me a call. Matt Wicker at Chatley Marine, 910-930-1803. Again, 910-930-1803. Or you can reach me at mattw@chatleyboats.com. I'd love to speak with you, answer any questions you may have, and try to save you some money in the process. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.